These are the top 10 questions I hear day in and out surrounding Digital Combat Simulator World, also known as DCS, so let's get straight into it. Is DCS worth it? In short, yes. If you're the type of person that likes to go deep and gain a sense of learning and progression within a flying game, then DCS might be just what you're looking for. It's one of the most rewarding flight sims out there. And if you can put in the time and the effort with a sprinkle of patience, the sim will pay it back to you tenfold. DCS can be full of frustrating moments, but they really are outshone by moments of sheer amazement and a sense of satisfaction that, in my opinion, just can't be replicated anywhere else. Is DCS free? Well, kind of. You see, DCS is free to download, and this gets you 2 planes and a map, but if your intention is to deep dive into DCS, you need to be prepared to spend between $200–300 US over, say, a few years, and that's just in the software. There are a few pieces of basic hardware you'll need too. I'll leave a link in the description for what I recommend for newbies. Is DCS realistic? Look, DCS is as real as you can get at this current point in time. It's a full simulation with an accurate flight and weapons model. Graphically, it can look very nice if you have enough horsepower in both your CPU and GPU. I think Eagle Dynamics have done some amazing visual work with the sim, especially when it comes to the sky textures. The aircraft models themselves seem to be quite accurate inside and out, but there are still quite a few missing features that you'll see in the real aircraft that will just never be in the game. But yeah, DCS is as real as it gets. Is DCS on Xbox? No, DCS is not on Xbox. Will it ever be on Xbox? I highly doubt it. DCS is not a pick up and play game. It's just the wrong target audience. As I mentioned before, it's for those that want to go deep into study level learning. I'd be very surprised if DCS ever made it to console. I know Microsoft Flight Simulator did it with the Xbox, but DCS is quite simply on another level. Your closest thing in console would be to play War Thunder on simulation mode. And War Thunder is pretty fun, and you can get it on Xbox and PlayStation. Is DCS hard? Yes, it certainly is. DCS is the hardest sim or game I've ever played. It requires lots of focused attention with patience over months of tinkering and practice. At least that's my experience. The best thing to smooth out the learning curve is to learn one single plane. Pick the plane that interests you the most and just try and learn it inside and out. The Flaming Cliffs module with the F-15 would be my recommendation there. It's cheap, low fidelity, so there's not too many controls you need to be adjusting on the inside of the cockpit. If you weren't sure what plane you were going to get and you just don't know which way to go, I'd be pointing you in the direction of Flaming Cliffs. Does DCS support VR? DCS does support VR, and it supports it very well. If you have a PC with enough juice and a headset like an HP Reverb G2, could be a Vario Aero or a Pimax 8K, then I think your VR experience will blow your mind. The best thing about VR is the depth perception. I mean, you look over your wing and you will feel like you're 20,000 feet in the air. It's mind-blowing for first-time users. You'll get a sense of just being in the moment. It's something that flat screens just can't deliver. The drawback is you won't be able to see your control panels or other electronic peripherals if you have them. Does DCS have free planes? Yes, DCS has free planes and a free map of the Georgia and Black Sea area. It gives you an Su-25T and I believe it's a T-51. T-51D. Both planes will give you enough fuel to let you know whether DCS is for you. So there's absolutely no reason not to give it a shot. Just bring your patience with you. Another tip is to download DCS from digitalcombatsimulator.com and not Steam. This will give you a 2-week trial of any plane you desire, and this rolls over every 6 months. Does DCS require a joystick? No, it doesn't. But I just can't recommend playing DCS with a controller or a keyboard. Not only are you making it difficult for yourself, but DCS is a simulation. You get the most out of it if you can do your best to create an environment that suits the activity. At a minimum, I recommend a throttle and stick. I'll put a link in the description for my recommendations for getting started. Can DCS be played with a keyboard and mouse? I kinda just touched on that one. Yes, it can, although I don't know anyone that does it. Your flight control surfaces require analog input for fine controls of the aircraft. DCS is hard enough without making the aircraft hard to control. Can DCS be played offline? Yes, it can. In fact, most of my time, or most of my flying time, is not played on the multiplayer server. I spend most of my time on single missions and campaigns. There's enough there to keep you going for months, if not years. So these are the questions I get all the time. I've tried to make the answers quick and concise. If there's anything else you want to know, please reach out.